Hi everyone, it's Diane. It's Saturday, so it's play day. I just did a video showing the little journal that I completed for myself, and I have some tidying up I could do, but I want to play a little bit. I'm going to do something inspired by Jessica Rapp from Two Silver Oranges, and that is to take some of my very old ledgery type of stuff. Some of it's too fragile to really use on its own. So I am going to collage them with Mod Podge onto a file folder, which I can then cut up and make ephemera with. And I want to try putting on some of the Tim Holtz tissue paper on top. See how it looks. So I have some file folder in here. I'm going to just tear this. Work with half of it at a time. And I'm going to pull out some pages. I'm going to set aside the tissue paper for now because I won't use them till after I have one entire sheet covered. So this is just a long and narrow ledger from 1918 with pencil writing on it, but it's too fragile to just put in the journal as it is. It does have some blank parts at the back. This one is from a feed store. Doesn't have a lot of writing. I've used the pages that already had writing on them, but there's one left, so I'll take that one. That's cool on the back too, though. Oh, there's more in the back. Awesome. This one isn't that fragile. It's actually from 1972, a computation book, but it's pretty much all written in. There's very little blank space in it, so I thought I would use some of the text. Looks like I have a bunch of scraps in there, and I like that it's got diagrams and it's written in blue ink and red ink. So we'll take some of that. This is electricity lab reports. This is from 1954. Look at that writing. Got mimeograph too. Where'd that page go with the really cool writing? There it is. This is from an old Montgomery Ward catalog. It's an order form, and it's very fragile. I was thinking I would glue this onto something and use it as a journaling card, so I won't use too much of that. Maybe just this really yellowed one. Oh, I forgot this was in there. Maybe I could use some of this. This is written in French. So these are just fragile pages that I can't use on their own. Yeah, these are some French papers that I got in Happy Mail in German. This is something I picked up at a library sale. I want to scan these in. This is from 1881 from a local newspaper, Elmira, New York. Look at them. So I'm going to set them aside so I can hopefully scan them and make digis out of them. Maybe I'll use some more of that stuff. We'll see. Let's see what else I have here. This is the Church Treasurer's book that I picked up at a flea market. Take a couple pages of that. This is just a folder full of, or a bag full of vintage ephemera. Probably, I don't know if there's anything in here I would use. I think I want to make a copy of that too. I love the feel of that. I don't want to put Mod Podge on it. This is just something, I have the original of this and I just made a copy of it. That's just the copy. I got some cool stuff. I need to get into this and use it. This came from a notebook that I got at a flea market, and it's about the fugue. It was a book of music notes, like a music class. So a lot of these things I don't want to use until I can scan them in my computer. So I guess I'll just... I don't think we really need to scan this one in, do we? Trying to see a date on it. It's Auto Express. Oh, 1935. Older than I thought. $1921. One tooth, $17. One mower, $65. I wonder if that means a tooth. Or a tooth on a piece of equipment. Well, I think I could use some of these. The rest I'm going to save. I'm going to sort through them and separate out the things that I want to preserve. This is a bunch of letters and envelopes. Maybe I'll add some stamps and things like that. CVS. A lot of these on top here were from, somebody sent me a scrapbook full of these envelopes. There was nothing inside, just the envelopes, all addressed to this woman. And I think that what it was, because she made little notes about where each envelope came from, I think she just collected envelopes and stamps from different places. So she would send away for things. Fan mail department. Okay, what else do we have here? I think some of these would just be nice tucked into a pocket. These letters, I don't think I want to use a lot of them. I think I have enough to start with, don't you? I'll take a look at this last notebook here. Department of Highways. All right, I think we're ready to go. So I'm just going to start tearing and gluing. I think I need to get something. I'll be right back. get my, oh, goodness, my big pad of paper. All right, here we go. That's so I can set my things on when they're drying. I don't want to make too much of a mess on this table. I came into my office where this is a table I use for packing orders, but I have more room to spread out in here. So I have Mod Podge in here, and I put a little water in to thin it and to make it go further. I don't measure. I just poured Mod Podge in, and then I just put a little bit of water in. It's definitely not 50-50 ratio. It's just a little bit of water. And people always ask me what my ratio is, and I don't know. I don't measure. I want to get that little number in here. I'll turn it that way. There's a number on that side, and I'll have the straight edge up against that straight edge. I think this video will be scheduled to be published on Wednesday, maybe? Oh, probably Thursday, because I already did a video today. But it depends. If I have my little journals ready to list in my shop, this video will get bumped. I kind of want that circle. I think I punched something out of that, but I think I want that to be on top, so I don't want to bury it. And remember, this is going to be all cut up. So who knows what's going to be together and what's going to be separated, you know. I'm not trying to make an arrangement. I'm just trying to cover it with a really cool collage. Now I can put that right there. I still haven't changed my clock from, it took me forever in the fall when it jumped back, and I finally did it, and now I have to put it back. It's high because I don't have a place to put it yet. I don't have a bookshelf. I did have it sitting on top of a bookshelf at my other house, and I don't have the bookshelf. So right now, there's a shelf over my refrigerator that's kind of set back, and that's where the clock is, and I can't reach it without a stool. But that's just temporary. When I get a bookshelf, I'll move it. I want to put something decorative over my refrigerator when I can go shopping again. Let's try this. I can open this out, and then I'll have this part to use also for something. Get rid of the flaps, any extra paper on the back. I don't want anything covering up those stamps either, so I'm going to put this down in the corner, but I'll wait until I have whatever else is going to be here on this page. That can go there. And I just want to put little bits of the colored tissue paper on top and see how it looks. It's kind of a thick, it's collage tissue. It's not really as thin as a regular tissue paper. So I'm hoping it's thin enough that stuff will show through it. Set those two aside. What is this? Oh, I don't want to use that. Okay. Take a piece of this and put it up here. I need something up there. I love this with all the diagrams on it. I'm going to use that again down here. And I like that it's a darker paper. So I was thinking I could just come in here when I want to do collages or do work in my glue book, or what I didn't think about at my dining room table, that it was too high and it made my back hurt to work at it, was just to bring one of the office chairs that I use in my craft room, because I can adjust the height of them, so I could move that in. But this might be a good place to do my glue books. I don't really want to start making crafty messes all over the house. I'll just contain it to my craft room and my office. How about that? It's bad enough I do stuff in the living room while I'm watching TV. I have, I'll cut up things or work on fabric flips and paper collages and stuff. So I end up with a mess in the living room. Now I don't want it to be block, block, block like this, so I'll have to break it up somehow. But like I said, it'll be cut apart, so it might not end up looking like that anyway. I just don't want to cover up all of that diagram, so I moved this down, and I'll just trim off the bottom. Okay, so that is completely covered, quite wet. So I don't think I want to make this video long enough for that to dry so I can collage more stuff on it. So let's just continue. We're gonna have to re-wet it anyway to apply this stuff. So this is the pretty flowered one. It is quite thin. I guess it's at least as thin as regular tissue paper, so it shouldn't be a problem showing through. I've only used it a couple times. I just don't think about it. Let's see, where do I want to put this one? Yeah, I can see through it. Nope. Yellow, yellow. And so when I cut it apart, some pieces may end up with a big piece of colored tissue, and some pieces may end up with no colored tissue. It's a luck of the draw, I guess. Just put a little scrap up there. Put a little scrap over there. a little something down here somewhere. Okay, we're going to leave it at that and let it dry. Now my battery the light is flashing, and I want to continue doing another one, at least another sheet, while I have the mess out. I'm going to leave the camera running as long as it will. You're welcome to, always, of course, it's not my decision, but you're always welcome to switch off if you have seen enough. But I'm going to just leave the camera on and continue doing some collage. And I'll chat too. What do I do with my other piece of folder? I don't see the one I already tore, so I'm going to tear another one. And maybe I'll use my other tissue. This one is, oh, it's got birds and music. Yeah, that'll be a good one. It's about time I started using this. So off we go, making another sheet, collage sheet that we can cut up and make journaling cards and tags and pockets and all kinds of good stuff. $19.52. Going to put that full thing right across there, and parts of it will get covered. Maybe I should put it off a little bit, and I'll cut off some of the white that's at the top. So we had several inches of snow last night on April 18th. Or is today the 18th? Let me see. Yep, today's the 18th. So on the 18th of April, we woke up to several inches of snow. But it's pretty much all melted now. There's a little bit left, but it's mid-40s. And tomorrow it's supposed to be 60. So then it'll be all gone. I live in Pennsylvania, but right at the New York border. So I often go into New York, or I used to. My son lives right across the border in New York. My daughter and I live in Pennsylvania. But both states have decreed that if you are going to go into a store, you must have a face mask on. And the stores are not to let you in if you don't. Well, I had to go to Walmart yesterday, and a little local store. It's called Ted Clark's Busy Market, and it's in New York. But it's just a little locally owned store. But it is busy. It says Busy Market, and it's because it's busy. They have excellent hot food that you can get, and they have great meat, and it's just a little store. It's a really nice store. So anyway, I went to both of those places, and at Walmart, very few of the associates had face masks on, and most of the customers did, but a good share of them didn't. And they were in the store. At Ted Clark's, the little local store, all of the workers had face masks on, and some of the customers didn't. And there was even a sign back at the Hot Foods that said, you know, in compliance with the New York governor's decree, it wasn't the word they used, but you know, all customers must have a face mask on in order to enter the store. But nobody was enforcing it. There was a guy right next to me. I was getting some macaroni and cheese back at the Hot Foods, and the guy standing right next to me didn't have a face mask on, looking right at the sign that said you had to have a face mask. So I don't know why they don't enforce it. It's like, when I wear a face mask, I'm not protecting myself, I'm protecting you. But you're not protecting me. This area is pretty good right now. We have very, very few cases. I only know of one in what we call the valley. They call it the valley because we're between two rivers. We're a river valley. And the three towns, Sayre and Athens, Pennsylvania, and Waverly, New York, all make up the valley. And I've heard of one case in the valley. And it's in the ICU at the hospital. But that doesn't mean that we can still do whatever we want to, you know? I still stay home. Like, I went out a week ago I pretty much stay home until I have something I have to take to the post office. And while I'm out, I will go get some groceries. My son said he will bring me stuff if I need it. I told him I was going to be needing bread pretty soon the other day, and he said just let him know and he'd bring me some. So I stay home as much as I can, but I had to go out to the post office, so I went and got my bread. And when I go to the post office, I have already purchased my labels, my shipping labels, printed them, and all I have to do is hand them over the counter, and they have a acrylic guard up between them and me for their protection. And she just scans them and we're done. My friend works at the post office. I mean, we're friends now because I'm at the post office so often. We became friends. And I gave her some of my coconut eggs that I made. And she told me yesterday when I was there that they were so good. She said I ate most of them without sharing them with the kids. And I said, well, They're not for the kids. Kids don't appreciate the homemade candies. They're for the grown-ups. And I gave some to my pastor's family. They have 2 little ones, like not quite 2, 3 years old and not quite 2. And pastor's wife sent me a little video just a little while ago of the ritual of cutting into the last coconut egg. They're only like this big, but you know, it's quite rich. And they cut into that and shared it with the little ones watching. You know, how should we cut it? Should we cut it this way or that way? And everybody was very interested in how the egg was going to get cut. So she sent me that little video. It was so cute. I don't know why I put that floral piece on. It was sitting there and I just grabbed it, but I wanted to do the bird thing, but I still can. I mean, I'm supposed to do that at the end, but it was sitting there. So I picked it up and stuck it on. I haven't used any of this one yet, have I? Can't believe the camera's still going. I'm definitely going to clean up my mess in both rooms before I relax this evening, because tomorrow's Sunday and I want to enjoy. See, I'm just going to cover up that floral piece that I put down there. I want to enjoy my Sunday without having a mess. I think it's, I mean, I'm not working right now except for my Etsy shop and YouTube. And I think it's just my mindset that, you know, every day is just like the day before, pretty much. But on Sunday, it's Sunday. And it's more relaxed as far as chores. I'll watch our streaming service and have a lunch, but then I get to relax more. I need one little thing right there. I don't think I have any of this on this page. Okay. this is doing. It's still pretty wet. I glopped a lot on there. So when that's dry, I'll trim off the overhang and then I'll cut it into tags and journaling cards and whatnot. Let's work on the birdies now. That'll pretty much cover up this whole corner, but you can see through it. Adds a nice depth when you can see layers under layers. This is postmarked from Hawaii. Some of these birds are going to get chopped up, you know. Okay. I'll put something on the edge here. Now I'm looking forward to seeing how they all look when I get them cut up, but I'll probably wait till tomorrow to do that. Let them dry real well before I start cutting into them. And I will show you. Got a piece of hair in there. Okay, so that's going to be my collage session for today. Hope you enjoyed hanging out and watching, and thanks to Jessica Rapp for the inspiration for tearing up fragile vintage ledger pages and stuff like that and doing this. I will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.